welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, you know we love hearing from the crew, so if you got any comments, stories, ideas, send them our way at any time. You can call or text 305-900-BEND. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can even send us an email, right? Who even uses email anymore? I'm starting to wonder. Right. But our email address is bendradioshow@gmail.com. Ryan Shotgun, as always, my producer, sound engineer, co-host Jeff Tigger Erhardt.
It seems like people don't even text anymore.
It is becoming less and less with the whole communication
Period.
thing.
I mean, people just don't communicate at all anymore.
Well, and here is the hard part, too. If you've been like us even, a lot of times you'll text back and forth and the texts get taken the wrong way.
Oh, is this episode about relationships? Is that where we're going with this one?
I wasn't going to, but I'm just looking at you and laughing about, I would say probably 65% of the texts we send each other, they get taken the wrong way.
Right. Well, I think everybody is guilty and innocent of that all at the same time, that their texts get taken the wrong way.
And you know what I think causes some of that?
What?
Outside of, I'm saying we don't cause that, Tigger and I don't, but I think it's all the influences of, say you're going through your threads on your social media and instantly you're maybe bowed up or you're sensitive because they're bombarding you with topics.
Political year.
The politics are everywhere. You don't even want to turn the TV on and they wonder why we binge watch our TV shows just so we don't have to see the political
That's
ads.
why we just listen to the band. That's what we do.
All right. Well, I am happy to say that, yes, June is officially here. And did you know that June is a National Outdoors Month? It kicks off every year, the first Saturday in June. It's also National Trails Day today, if you're listening today on June 1st, Saturday. And how about that? I thought it was interesting that they even had a day that was an all trails day. I had no idea.
What are you talking about, like hiking trails? Is that what you're talking about?
You've got it.
Oh.
Yes, it's to encourage us all to get out hiking and exploring. So whether you had a plan today of maybe an all-day excursion or you are sitting here in the truck right now, the tractor, whatever, you're seating, you're going up and down the highway, next time you take a break, you have to give yourself a little grace. Today is that one day that maybe you walk a few steps further than you usually do and just kind of take a breath of fresh air and look at something different.
We haven't been hiking yet this year.
Oh, no, I guess.
Now that you're bringing all of this up, we haven't been.
I guess walking.
You've been doing fun stuff.
I was going to say, walking through the creek bottoms looking for missing calves doesn't really count as hiking.
You were not walking through the creek bottoms. I was in the creek.
You were in the creek fencing. I was, however, at a different location walking along trying to find little calves stuck under trees, logs, hiding.
You were riding in the side-by-side. I know how that works.
Oh, my gosh. See, this is how we don't get agreed.
This is how texts get taken the wrong way.
Well, all I know is that, especially, I know for many of you, schools have let out or they're about to, but if the kids are already griping that they're bored, month of June, you kick them outside. That's all I got to say.
Have them get a job.
Hey, there's a lot to that. Actually, you know how excited and passionate I get about financial literacy with kids and understanding that they need to understand the value of $1 at a young age.
Right.
So don't get me on that tangent. Now I'm all excited. Now I want to go down that tangent.
Do whatever you like, dear.
Well, all I can say is that look at yourself, look at the kids, look at the youth, look at the neighbor kids. But there have been a lot of studies, and when I get off air, go ahead and Google this, but a lot of the trends and how one's spending habits are, they're already set in stone by ages 6 to 9 years old.
So
Think about it.
Let me ask you this. Who taught you how to balance a checkbook, and how old were you when you did that?
My mother taught me how to balance a checkbook. However, from the age of about 10, 11 years old, my dad made sure that at the kitchen table, we were already talking about cattle markets, understanding why we were either selling or keeping certain calves. And then we were each given our first heifer when we turned 12 years old to begin our own herds.
And saving the dollars.
Yes.
So when were you allowed to have your first checking account?
I was 12.
And I'm dating your age on this one.
You are, because a lot of kids don't even have checking accounts.
Not anymore. Or you have a debit card.
Right. Yeah. No, I was 12 years old.
People don't even write checks anymore.
I was 12 years old, and in high school, my parents, they made me take accounting 1 and 2.
They offered accounting in your high school?
Yes.
We didn't have accounting.
I was the only kid in it. I'm not kidding. It was over TV. Like, you had to watch it through a TV. I don't remember what they called it back in the day. But yeah, I was in a small school, and I was the only kid in the accounting 1 and accounting 2 classes.
When I learned my first bit of accounting and balancing the checkbook, I was in 4-H, and I was the treasurer.
Interesting.
And I want to say I was probably about 12 years old, and my dad showed me how to use the check register because I was in charge of, writing the checks for the 4-H club and balancing it. And it was my dad that taught me the first step, I would say, in financial literacy, as you say, by balancing the checkbook for our 4-H club.
Okay, well, I ended up being a treasurer, too, in our 4-H club, so I understand where you're coming from. But this actually is leading into another topic I was going to talk about in the first start of the show, and that is the latest trends in words, I guess you might want to say buzzwords, and one of the big ones is called bleisure. Have you heard of the word bleisure?
No.
The concept is because money is tight, folks are, looking at their pocketbooks, they're mixing and making sure that if they have to go somewhere for business, they're going to take that time and do their travel vacationing there. So their airlines are probably covered by the business that's sending them.
New. I mean, we do that all the time.
We've done that, but
it's a tax write-off, guarantee it.
If you own your own business, yes.
You got to own your own business. There you go.
Right. That's the difference. Most people, the difference there is how many are in working force versus how many of us own our own businesses. But there is an extreme uptick they're seeing, and they're saying this is going to be huge in 2025. That bleisure, absolutely, most people will be not traveling unless they can mix it with their work. So you're talking about
like the company is sending you on training or something like that.
You got it.
And you're trying to negotiate, can I have an extra day or two? And
they're booking it in a way that, say, their meetings occur and they wrap up on a Friday. Instead of taking that flight home Friday, they're taking the flight home Saturday. Now they only got to pay for their hotel stay maybe for 2 days.
Gotcha.
They're already there. That's a huge one. And then the other one is called authentic travel, where people are saying, do you have any idea what authentic travel would even be?
Don't have any clue what you're talking about.
People are, if they're going to spend their money, they want to, instead of use the good old resorts that are all inclusive, going on the bus tours. No, they want to totally immerse themselves in what the locals do. They want to understand whether it is signing up to even help build something, work cattle, it doesn't matter what it is, but
they're wanting the experience.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
They want the authentic experience. They want to eat where the locals eat. They want to drive and they want to live the way the locals live so that they remember where they were at and how that was.
Okay, that makes sense because I know a lot of people in rural America. We've got a lot of friends. Your family, had a vacation business for a long time, and I know a lot of friends have tried to supplement their income by having, that cabin on their place.
Yep, exactly.
And they would try to time it with, we're doing something like this that the people can do. So, okay, that makes sense. I'm with you.
Yeah, people are just looking at how they're spending their dollars a little different these days.
In the agriculture world, it's called agritainment.
Or agritourism.
There you go.
All right.
Tried to one-upper it, didn't
we? Are going to take a short break. When we come back, we're talking about some... How do I put this? Plants you may not want to become friends with. And Tigger's looking at his wrists right now, if that's any
is this what we're going to talk about? We're going to throw me under the bus?
We're going to take a short break. The Ben Show will be back right after this.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, And make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit medoraboot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to medoraboot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and Red Long Shotgun. My co-host, as always, Jeff Tigger Erhardt, who happens to be donning a different shade of skin color these days. And I'm not talking about a farmer's tan, a rancher's tan. The look on your face is so unimpressed right now.
It's because I am unimpressed with what you're saying right now.
It's not my fault that I don't know what you got yourself into and you can't stop scratching, itching, and it's spreading. That's not my fault. You're still unimpressed.
I don't want
right?
to talk about it. I thought it was spider bites originally, but lo and behold, it's not.
No, I'm guessing it's not, and we still don't have you going into the clinic. I think maybe the soonest will be in a couple days.
We're trying to get into the clinic.
Yes.
But what do you think this is? Just tell everybody.
I'm pretty sure you have poison ivy. I'm almost positive you have poison ivy. And I don't know if people believe this or not, that some people are allergic to it and some are not. I just know I've been around you for a couple days. It's spreading on you, but I have yet to catch it from you. So my gut is telling me it's poison ivy. You're still not impressed. Well, are you going to tell folks what you were doing?
Itches. Well, I didn't think that we had any poison ivy around our place. And I was just clearing out some weeds and doing some of that stuff and pulling weeds and pulling weeds is what I was trying to do. And that's what we think that I got into.
Well, and here is how we always talk about communication is important no matter what. Where he was up pulling weeds, he ended up showing me where he was cutting brush back. I right away made the comment, well, I'm pretty sure there's poison ivy up there in the corner. I've been mowing that back for years. And you looked at me and went, what?
Well, I paid attention because what's that saying? Leaves of three, let it be.
Yes.
And there was some unfamiliar plants that were in there to me because where we're at, poison ivy, poison oak, and sumac is not very common. I mean, it's around, but it's not as common as other areas of the country. And it was a different plant. I kind of looked at it and, well, I guess I didn't pay attention, and I pulled it out anyway.
And then you proceeded and you waited a good day or so until I got a good look at it.
It started just small with a couple bumps, and that's why I thought it was a spider bite. But now look at it. I mean, it's really swelling and...
And he's done, if you're asking here and you're sitting here going, all right, Tigger, you got to scrub with Dawn dish soap and to make sure you don't use that washcloth anywhere else. He has done all of that. You have been putting calamine lotion on those areas.
It's not going away.
No, but now he's starting to show up like on his hips and different areas. So we are going to have him go
Way to just tell everybody our personal business.
Because they're all right now, they're wondering and laughing. They were first wondering if you squatted in the trees off the side of a trail. Use the wrong leaves.
Funny. That would be miserable.
Right? And that's why I'm bringing this up, because after looking at your arms and you and I both being outdoors people our entire lives, you still had this one kind of come up and bite you. It did. You weren't expecting to end up with poison ivy.
I've never been allergic to anything like this before, so I'm a little surprised, but it did, because of this, it did cause me to say I maybe need to go back and just get, boned up a little bit on some of these, poison ivy and sumac and poison oak, because we are in areas where they are prevalent, and get boned up on some of the noxious weeds that are around, because they look different throughout the summer as they're growing, and where we got to spray and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know the top 5 they say to always watch out for, you should know by glancing at them, would be your poison ivy, oak, poison sumac, like you said, the stinging nettle, and the giant hogweed. Those are the top 5 you should actually really know before you are in your backyard or if you're hitting the trails somewhere you've never been before.
Do you know what those are?
Yes, I do.
Are you just saying that? Do you really know by identifying, you would know which one is which?
Yeah, I would.
Oh.
I would.
Okay,
but remember, earlier in the show, we talked about that our family used to do the agritourism. All right. So we would offer up at times when I wasn't in the hayfield, I'd be giving some trail rides and such out to folks that were from the big cities or they were from overseas, and tell them why, they were not getting off their horse in a certain area.
So did you have, where you were at, did you have the poison ivy and oak and sumac and some of these?
We had poison ivy.
You did?
We had poison ivy because we had 10 miles of river bottom.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
We had poison ivy, and I was very vigilant. I think that's the word you say. I was very watchful for that. I wanted to make sure nobody was going behind a tree to squat or do anything if I thought that was in the area.
Okay, so now that we've kind of determined that I've got poison ivy kind of all over, how do we get rid of this is the big thing. And I'm throwing this out to everybody. If there is a solution of how to stop this, it isn't that they itch so darn bad. It's that now they're kind of starting to get a little painful. They're irritated.
Well, because it's drying it out. The calamine is doing that effect where it's supposed to. So
it's working? Is that what you're saying? Is that why they're a little tender and now they're all raised and red?
Well, okay, that's part of it I don't like of how yours are looking is why we're going to go in and have a physician look at this.
Why are we sharing our medical conditions?
And I'm putting this disclaimer because in case you're wondering what these all look like, what we're talking about.
Are you going to put a picture of them on Facebook?
I've put together great pictures of all of these 5 plants I just mentioned, along with kind of the identification on them. But regardless, if you think you have it, I'm telling you, in order to get over it quickly, get in and seek medical attention. All right, just go to the knowers of all and get on the right stuff.
You're staring at me.
I know.
I wasn't opposed to going. We called the one skin doctor.
We called the dermatologist.
Yeah, we couldn't get into him for like 4 years or something.
Well, but the nurse said, "Tell Tigger to send me pictures."
I did.
Oh, I didn't know you did.
I did. I sent them today.
See,
I mean, let me check my
same
I should have texted you. Hey, how was
the
that
miscommunication
keep
is
talking.
crazy
Let
here.
me check here, even in the No, I haven't received anything back, so I don't know.
Well, all I do want to say is because you brought up also with the noxious weeds and such that are all starting to bloom. Now is that time of year when you're probably spraying your yard for dandelions. You're spraying
which should be a noxious
your yard,
weed.
Your corals for kochia. You're making sure you don't have leafy spurge.
Knapweed, thistle.
Yes, Canadian thistle, all of these different weeds. Make sure, too, when you're going and looking at your chemicals you're using or whatever you're using as a control agent against these, that it gets rid of these noxious weeds. Because you don't need your kids running into this.
Right.
You don't need the grandkids running into this
the
or
pets
somebody at
or
Tigger's
something
age.
Like that. Really?
Come on, I don't get to ding you too often, all right?
You're doing all right. Don't we have to take a commercial break? Because I'm itching now.
I know. He's sitting here literally in his chair trying to not move from one side to the other. But we are going to take a short break. Like I said, though, head to thebendshow.com and you'll find all kinds of useful information and photos to know what plants you need to be watching for, either in your yard or on the trails. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back right after this. This has been The Ben Show.
It's super easy to get a hold of Beck, and we want to hear any story that you may have or just what's happening around your bend. 305-900-2363. That's the hotline. Leave a message. Send a text. 305-900-2363.
Pro rodeo fans, watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the PRCA on the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit CowboyChannelPlus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bring in us, Beck and I, as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Erhardt. Now, in the beginning of the show, we were talking about some of the trends going on right now in travel, and they don't foresee these changing just because of how inflation has hit the pocketbook. And the other term that we have heard and often said over the years is staycation. However, AAA has come out just recently, and they are saying that many folks, they expect this to continue to rise greatly, as they say it offers the same mental and physical benefits as a traditional vacation, but with less stress and a lower price tag.
But there's a lot of neat things that a person can see and go do in their backyard. I mean, not literally maybe in your backyard, but I mean in the area that you live.
Well, and that's exactly true. And what I'm going to say is, say, for example, you're going, okay, if I stay in my house, all I'm going to look around is see work. Well, here is something you might want to check into is, for example, staycationing is very popular in the city of Las Vegas. You wouldn't think of it, but it is, because those casinos actually offer local pricing for the locals. And look inside your own area where you're at. You might be surprised to find out. You might be able to negotiate rates. Say you just want to spend a night or two at a hotel in town just to get a different feel. Or if it has a water park, something like that for the kids.
We talked about this just last night. We were talking about that little town that we were at last year that your friend got married at, and they had the wedding dance. It was really neat. It was
right
this
on
old,
a lake.
It was on the lake. It was this old, well, they turned it into a hotel. I don't even know, what was that building?
It was a high school.
Is that?
It was a high school, yes.
And they turned
the Riverdale High School.
And they turned it into a hotel and a bar and a little restaurant. It was really, really, really neat. And it's only about 60 miles from where we're at. And I said, we just need to go up there and spend the night and just have supper and stay the night there. It was really cool.
And that is exactly what a lot of these travel experts that are looking at our budgets and what we can afford are saying to do. Look at these towns that are within not a very far driving distance. We're saying only a few hours away, so that you're saving the dollars on the gas bill. You're saving dollars on probably what's in your area isn't as expensive as it is if you went to New York City or somewhere crazy like that.
A destination. Nothing wrong with those.
No.
We're just talking about if you need to save some dollars. And
just to be a little bit more budget friendly. But they said also, actually, look at your hometown. Take yourself out of it instead of saying, oh, this place is boring. And actually open up and go into even Facebook. You can go to events. And you might find out that there's some special events you didn't even know were going on.
There's all kinds of stuff. That's a great idea of going to Facebook, because in our town, they're literally, we did this the other day too. I said, all of this and this and this is going on. I wish we would be around, because there's all kinds of neat stuff happening.
There you have it. You might find something from a junk fest to a winery having some tastings you didn't know. There might be a local band you didn't realize was coming to town. But if you just kind of take a fresher look at what's going on around you, even just taking that time to go and rummage sale in a different town than what you live in can add to a lot of fun. Or looking up and saying, hey, are there any steakhouses I should try that are within 60 miles, 30 miles, just getting outside of your normal bubble or routine, but yet you're coming home and maybe sleeping in your own bed and you didn't have to pay for a hotel.
And how many people say that you need a vacation after your vacation, that you're exhausted or something like that? And times are tough, but regardless about what you're doing, take a little time just to refresh and get away from everything and the phones, even if it's 10 miles down the road. It would help you out.
Doesn't sound that bad. And we're going to call this show wrapped, folks. Thanks to my producer and co-host, as always, Jeff Tigger Erhardt. And remember, folks, to keep sending in those questions you might have, something spot-worthy we need to share, or something we need to test out in our very own cabin kitchen, as well as your area's field reports. That number again, call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363, or you can always email benradioshow@gmail.com, and keep up with us on social media by following @The Ben Show, as well as tagging any of your photos so that we see what you're doing on or off the trail. If you missed part of this episode or you'd like to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebenshow.com, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to The Ben Show YouTube channel. Thank you to our partners, Tele Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Blue Water Girl Charters, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along, and whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram @The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Wanner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.